Drats and double drats. Did you ever start a project with high expectations of how it would turn out? But as you may, it never turned out just the way you expected it. Of course, we all have been down the road before. Whether it was baking a chocolate cake for a birthday party, only to have it end up harder than a rock, or washing ordinary white laundry, but it accidentally coming out pink. We all have experienced some type of unexpected ending to a project. Now, what if that mishap suddenly turned into the beginning of something good? Something fresh, something catchy, something worth some ka-chink. What would you say to that? Well, it just so happens some of the best yummies in life were created by mistake. A pure unintentional accident. Here are 3 mistakes worth talking about. May I interest you in an epicycle? Way back in 1905, a thirsty 11-year-old boy named Frank Ederson quenched his thirst with soda after playing outside in the cool San Francisco Bay Area. Now, back then, soda wasn't served in cans or convenient bottles. Instead, individual servings of soda could be made from a sugary soda powder mixed with water. This powder required quite a bit of stirring for it not to only dissolve but also blend flavorfully into the water. To accomplish the stir, he used a wooden stirring stick to get the job done. At first, after he mixed it, he took a sip to wet his whistle. And then he placed it on the perch, leaving the cup and the stirring stick in it. Like a typical boy, he carried on playing and didn't think twice about it. When the evening hours settled in and it was time for him to go back inside to his house, he dashed happily inside without thinking twice about the cup of soda, nor the stick that was still in it. That night, temperatures dropped to an all-time low in the San Francisco Bay Area. The next morning, to his surprise, he found his soda had fast to the stirring stick he left it in. He removed it from the cup, held it by the stick, and gave it a lick. With a smile, he enjoyed the frozen treat, and he shared his sugary concoction with his friends, who in turn called it the epicycle. Its name morphed into what is known as today the popsicle. The simple, casual mistake is valued at $458 million. Not a bad price for this frozen confectionery treat. Not in the mood for something cold? Then how about a warm and gooey, melt in your mouth, butter drop dew cookies? You haven't heard of them? Well, these cookies underwent a name change to chocolate chip cookies. That's right, the one and only chocolate chip cookie that was perfected by a genuine mistake. Back in 1930, an innkeeper named Ruth Wakefield, who was a co-owner of Wakefield, Massachusetts Toll House Inn, intended to make plain old chocolate cookies with ordinary cocoa. To her dismay, she found out that the cocoa, luckily, she happened to have a chocolate bar, so she figured it would crumble in the mix into the batter and it would melt, and the rich chocolate would ooze through the entire cookie. Carefully, she baked her first tray of scrumptious treats. To her surprise, she discovered that the crumbled chocolate didn't totally melt into the cookies. The chocolate remained in small crumbles scattered throughout it. Bakers always say the best part of baking is eating your mistakes. And that is just what Ruth did. She bit into a chocolate sensation that, hands down, is one of the very best cookies to this day. In fact, about 900 billion individual chocolate chip cookies are sold annually by Nestle Toll House. With that, there are 7 million chocolate chip cookies eaten in the United States every year. Now, I believe we are all glad that Ruth Wakefield's kitchen was out of cocoa. If that made you thirsty, then you will be glad this mistake happened. A pharmacist named Dr. John Batum sought to find a cure for the run of male headaches along with other common ailments. He experimented with Coca-Cola, coca leaves, and coconuts. Carefully, John measured and documented his ingredients. Now, John had a lab assistant who was his right-hand man. One day in the lab, his assistant accidentally mixed John's ingredients with carbonated water. This new mixture was originally marketed as a cure for all headaches and common aches and pains. To Dr. John's dismay, it did not cure what he stated it to cure. But that didn't stop the public from purchasing it. They purchased it because it tasted refreshing. What is the name of this cold and refreshing drink? It is Coca-Cola, a $286 billion industry. Crazy to think that a mistake can build a huge empire. Now, the next time your project doesn't turn out just the way you expect it, don't sweat it. Just keep in mind that the miracle of mistakes that have been shared with you today. Perhaps your mistake will be one that we will all thank you for.